Welcome to About 6 Acres. I'm Juana.
And I'm Nick.
And today we're going to be in our garden. We are going to be giving you a garden tour, and hopefully we'll get to all of the gardening stuff that we have before it starts raining.
Yeah, it's supposed to get some storms, and you can feel the humidity and then the cold front coming through that's pushing, so it's coming.
Brutal. Let's get started. This is our main garden, and it's one that we built with raised beds. A lot of the reasoning is the ground is just not conducive to in-ground beds.
Yeah, it's very... So I guess when they built the house and the property, they dug out a lot of it down to... It's like this hard, compact sand and then some red clay underneath. So you really can't dig very far.
We decided just to make it easier for ourselves and be able to get something established. We ordered raised beds, and we went with metal beds because there were some wood beds on the property, and they were new when we got here.
But there are, I mean, around here there's like subterranean termites. They pretty much destroyed those. We call them the inherited raised beds.
We felt like it was better to invest in these metal beds that I think had potential to last for decades. Let's take a look at what's there. We've noticed a lot more pests lately. So these are the leaf-footed bugs, and they are awful. They basically just suck everything out of the leaves and make them all droopy and yucky. So we take a bucket, fill it up with some water, and add some squirts of soap. Basically, we just handpick them, throw it in the bucket of water, and the soap breaks the water tension so that the bugs can't get out and they just kind of drown and sink. It's a good, easy, organic way to manage pest control.
So we have some potatoes that we put in these grow bags, and the thing is they're growing so well. You can see the leaf-footed bugs want us picking off. They do fly away, so you got to catch those. But the potatoes we planted in here, we try to add a little bit more mulch or compost too, but they're so big now that we don't know if we can hill anymore. And they're actually getting flowers. Some people recommend pinching them off so it can go back, all that energy can go back to the tubers, but they look so pretty.
So the other thing that we'll do is not only just check for those stink bugs or leaf-footed bugs, which are pretty easy to spot, but we also check underneath the leaves just to make sure that there's nothing that's laid eggs there. But so far, it's been good. I've spotted mostly those leaf-footed bugs are what's been pestering our garden lately.
There's our soapy water bucket. So this is one of our jalapeno pepper plants that we overwintered from last year. And basically we just dug it up and repotted it. You can see where we made the cuts, and it's growing back, already flowering and producing some fruits. And that's one of the benefits of overwintering pepper plants, is that you get sort of a jump start on production. And it may not look super fancy, but again, it's already has the root system developed, so it can start, you can start harvest early. They produce a lot of, they're not the biggest jalapenos, but they're super spicy. So you can do that. You can even, cut these dead spots off, which I'll probably do later. Let's cut those off. But basically you want to cut when you overwinter into a Y shape. So we've got 2 jalapeno plants here, and I think the other one we overwintered was a shishito pepper. So you can basically overwinter any type of pepper. Just cutting off the areas of the pepper where there's no growth, just to make it look neater. So we're at one of our first beds where we planted some beefsteak tomatoes and another variety of tomato, which I think there's some Cherokee purple, a couple in here, but we already have some fruit forming. You can see it, so we got some little fruits down there. So these are looking really healthy, really green and really bushy. Got some tomatoes here. They're doing really well. We've also planted, again, we have a lot of basil in a lot of the different beds because we let them overseed. So this is one we actually planted in here because we didn't have basil in this bed last year. But we have some marigolds as well for some pest control. Look at that. Look at that pretty marigold. We have some feverfew going on. So one of the goals maybe is to either cage or let them sort of use each other to grow vertically, because they're all indeterminate. That means they'll keep growing. But if we see any leaf damage or any fungal damage from being too close together, we'll start taking off some of the lower leaves again to add more airflow. But I like a bushy tomato plant instead of a tall tomato plant. So that's what I'm used to. I think what we'll do is we'll cage and do like the cherry tomatoes and the atomic snacking tomatoes. I think we'll trellis or stake those so they can grow nice and tall. So I'm used to a bushy tomato plant because growing up on my grandparents' farm, they would plant everything in the ground. I mean, thousands of tomato plants, and they would not be staked. They would just bush out to the ground. A lot of beefsteak tomatoes, even plum tomatoes and cherry tomatoes. And it just brings back good memories of going through and picking them off the ground. And it was almost like a treasure hunt, because you'd have to find them, and it would sort of keep the plant cooler in the summer because it would bush out. Because I could just imagine if we had to trellis those long rows, that would be a big project. But I like my bushy tomato plants. They're cute. We have a bed of hot peppers. And it's funny because I'm not a fan of hot peppers. I can tolerate just a little bit of spice. So we actually have some plants that we grew from seed when we processed and made some salsa and hot sauce from a friend of ours at church. So we have some Jamaican Reds. So they're like a Scotch bonnet, super hot. We have some Sugar Rush peaches. We have some giant habaneros and some more jalapenos. And so we have these wire mesh little cloches baskets over them, because when we transplanted them in the ground, there was a pest that was eating them. So some type of insect was getting their spice on and eating it. So now they're starting to come back now that the warmer weather is around. So we expect them to flourish. And we have some flowers and buds coming on the Sugar Rush peach, which is good because last year we had like maybe 2 peppers that we got because we planted them in a different area. So looking for the hot peppers to really take off. We have some basil in here as well as a pest deterrent. And we'll probably interplant some things in here later on during the season as well. We have a lavender that we just put in because we have some other starts of lavender we gotta find a space for. So looking forward to some hot peppers. I know my son is looking forward to them. So let us know what type of hot peppers you're growing and any tips on how to get really, really good hot peppers. So this is the jalapeno pepper. That's the same variety as the one that we overwintered. So you can see the difference already. It's got leaves and everything, but it's not, again, the trunk is not as vibrant. It's still developing its roots, while the one we overwintered has that hard trunk already where the leaves are coming out. It already has blossoms and fruit on it. So sort of why you can see overwintering pepper plants can save you time seed starting, because I know peppers and hot peppers require a lot of heat and warmth while they're germinating. So overwintering definitely saves you some time if you can do it. But glad that we have some overlap with our overwintered ones and our new ones that we planted this year. So we have another bed of some overflow onions that are doing really well. We even planted some of the smaller, the smaller plants that we had in here, and they're taking off. We have some that are really big and starting to bulb over there. I think those are the yellow variety. I don't know if they're the sweet onions. Then we have this big lemon balm that comes back every year, so you can use as tea, things to flavor your meals with. And last year I also sprinkled in some other poppies for like the bread seed poppies, and they came up. So there's a lot, and we didn't thin them because I didn't know what they were. So now that they're up, I'm not gonna thin them because I don't wanna pull out any of the roots. So hopefully we get some seed pods coming and we can collect our own poppy seeds for breads and bagels. And we have asparagus, which we forgot that we planted in this corner here. So we had one of the crowns that we planted, I think 2 years ago. And we actually harvested like 2 spears from because we weren't sure if we were supposed to harvest them. But the rest of the spears we left to fern out. You can see this one, spear starting to fern, this one did. And we had a larger one come out, but during the winds it snapped off the bottom, which is okay. So we might have to stake these maybe when they get a little bigger, but we did want to have little asparagus seeds from these little plants. So this one, maybe the chickens will eat. That's our overflow. Throw it over the fence. So yeah, super excited about this bed. It's got a lot of variety in it. Once we pull the onions, we got to figure out what we're going to plant back here. We have a lot of onions. So we have another bed with some of our tomatoes in. And again, they're looking super, super healthy. Also mixed in some basil. And this bed was the one where we had a lot of basil that went to seed. And you can sort of see little basil plants popping up all over the place, which is good. I mean, once the sun comes out, if they don't survive, they'll just burn. But they taste really good too as seedlings. So you can pick them and sort of have a little freshness of breath. We also had planted all of our tomatillo over here, but then we had that cold snap and only one has survived. So we got one that's growing strong, and I think we'll sort of use it as a trellis and vine it out, produce some for our green salsa. We planted some cucumbers as well in here today. So we'll wait for those to come. That way they can trellis up. We've always used that. We have our Thai fish peppers. And if you look at the leaves, they have this variegation going on, which is pretty cool. So there's some like white stripes through it. And that's what the peppers will look like too. So another spicy pepper that is good. So you can see the little variegation in the leaves. Good. Look at this basil. I think that's the cinnamon basil. So it's coming up everywhere. Our Egyptian walking onion is going nuts. You might have to make some scallion pancakes or something out of these pretty soon. So our strawberries are looking really, really good. And so we just they're not in straight rows. It's just a bed of chaos. But look at this. It's like a cuddle puddle of strawberries. So we got a lot of strawberries to harvest. We're going to pick the most ripest ones.
And so I'm excited to be able to get some strawberries because last year we really didn't have this kind of harvest, and it usually says that it takes a year for it to get going. And so I'm excited to be able to make some jam, hopefully. Look at this one. Look at the size of that one. It's crazy. Thank you for joining us on our main garden tour. We hope to show you some of the other areas in a future video, but we can feel the rain coming.
So don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you can see when we harvest our awesome produce. And as always, you're awesome and you are loved.
Until next time.